Hello, welcome to the Snap UK. We're here. Well, it's been about a week and a bit since we recorded last.
Feels like about 4 years ago.
We're in that sort of twilight zone where.
Don't they call it Betwixtmas now?
Yes, I hate that.
Yeah, me too.
We're through that now. Work today.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
I didn't have cheese for breakfast, so like it officially is no longer Christmas. Even though we are still in Advent or whatever it is, you can have your tree up
Till the 6th of January.
to 6th of January. But yeah, did you guys have a good Christmas?
Lovely Christmas, thank you.
Paul?
I was with you.
Yes.
Answer the question, Paul.
I'm still gonna. I still need to ask the question, Paul.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah,
Yeah, good.
yeah.
I had a shit one.
It checks out.
And yeah, happy New Year to everybody. Hope you've got your resolutions planned and ideally you've broken 2 or 3 of them already.
Relying on the Giants.
Yeah, we'll get to them. Of course, so it's the A team here today. It's me, Jim, and Paul here. Gary is shitting through the eye of a needle, and Griff.
I believe he has a case of both ends.
Oh, really? Oh no, poor Gary.
Double-ended needle.
Well, I hope you're all right, Gary. And Griff is the same. Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
toilet.
But
Yeah.
Griff is by choice. That's the
Yeah.
weird thing.
Yeah. No, he's just too busy to join us. So it does feel like an age away, but who remembers the Christmas Day games?
I do. I put them on at my house on Christmas Day to try and get rid of my mother.
Well,
Nice. Did it work?
No, it didn't. She refused to budge.
I did feel. I don't feel for Netflix because at least it worked. I was worried after the Jake Paul fight that it would be this glitchy mess.
Hey, some of us wanted to look at a 55-year-old man's ass. Right? That has an audience.
Yeah, and but this time I wanted it to be Andy Reid.
Older than 55, surely.
Yeah, but
Pounds.
so Netflix have paid millions for this, countless millions, and they got 2 absolute duds.
No, I mean, on paper, they should have been good games.
2 of the teams turned up. Unfortunately, 4 teams played.
And the 2 teams that turned up weren't playing each other.
Exactly, yeah. But actually, I thought it was a good presentation. They did well. Like
It was a very corporate friendly result.
yeah,
And by that I mean everybody wants the Taylor Swift led Chiefs to march on.
That's
the people who have got new eyes on the product are watching because of.
I won't lie. Taylor Swift was literally the only reason I was able to keep the game on because I promised my daughter that she's there and the camera might pan to her occasionally. So on that basis, both me and my daughter voted for it to stay on.
She didn't shake it off.
She didn't know.
In the US, I think 65 million people watching.
Wow.
And
65 million other people that don't like their families.
and then it was 25 for the other game. But basically, I believe a third of the people watching Netflix on Christmas Day were watching the NFL. So
That
massive.
shows you the impact, doesn't it?
massive for them, massive for the NFL. And yeah, at least it fucking worked.
Yeah.
But so
We're going too far into Netflix business model. It will get better if they do NFL again because they're going to be doing WWE
yeah.
from now.
Exactly. So I think at least we can say that the Jake Paul thing was a good dry run.
Yeah, dry run from. Yeah, I mean they've always
fucking dry. Yeah,
they've always been investing in sport. Think about Drive to Survive was originally there.
Yeah, this is their first
program. This
proper,
is their first
live
proper sport though. So, and it seems to have gone well. They're competing with the likes of Amazon Prime and Discovery, I guess, and TNT, and you'd expect them to probably make a bigger case next year into the NFL. More games coming up, I would have thought, and who knows, probably some Premier League games as well.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, they're going to keep throwing money at it. So, in the games themselves, there's not really much to discuss because
I mean,
the Steelers were bad.
Chiefs were all right.
Chiefs were all right. This is their most convincing win of the season. It does feel like, I said it the other week, the Chiefs are now this juggernaut. Whilst it's Reid and Mahomes, you don't have to even pay attention to what they do in the pre. They've won the NFC West by week 6 every year because they fucking have. I like the Chargers this year, but they're not good enough to give them a proper fight.
Well, they've had the Harbaugh bump.
Yeah,
I think it's just, can it be consistent?
So it's what they do going into the playoffs. They're going to give their players 2 weeks. So it's then the first game is probably going to be getting the rust off from 2 weeks break, and then they're probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Again.
It just feels...
we said it last week. They're the Patriots now.
Yeah, they are.
After 2 years, but we're now bored of them winning the Super Bowl and winning games. It's like, okay, we want someone new. I saw there's a good meme on Facebook the other day. It's like, this is the Super Bowl everyone wants for Christmas. It's Bills v Lions. It's like, this is the Super Bowl we're all going to get.
Yeah.
And it's Chiefs v Eagles.
We've got the Super Bowl at home, and it's the Chiefs versus...
I'm hoping it's like when the Giants won their first one, you've got the Chiefs playing like the Commanders.
That'd be nice.
The thing, you can take it back to like wrestling parlance, though. That like at the moment, like the Chiefs are like Andre the Giant, and
they're Roman Reigns.
Yeah, they're the bad guys now. That are probably that are a little bit indestructible because they've got enough of everything, and when push comes to shove, they have the best quarterback in the game. I don't care about his stats this year.
When the money's when
it matters, he turns up. That's what does.
I mean, also you saw in this game the offense is starting to go slightly more through Travis Kelce as well, who seems is now in the period of the season where he cares.
Yeah.
Yep.
You've seen more for Xavier Worthy as well. As the season goes on, he's becoming a much more intricate part of the offense. I didn't mainly know this because I drafted him in lots of fantasy leagues. He's done fuck all.
Yeah.
And then scored 22 points in the final on my
Well,
bench.
I would have beat you in the thing if I'd have played Xavier Worthy. But I didn't because he's been so up and down.
Yeah.
I played someone else who was shit and I lost. And it would have been a much more interesting final if I'd have been in it because we have both scored 115 and a half. And then it would have been up to me and Conrad to arm wrestle.
Would have paid to see that.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So Worthy, like, for the last few years, Andy Reid can create big plays for McCall Hardman and Valdez-Scantling.
Oh, and before,
what can he do with a bloke who is better and faster than both of them?
Yeah.
But he seems to have this position of like speedster because they brought in Kadarius Toney to do that.
Failed.
Stonehands Toney. But this isn't. Sammy Watkins was doing it the first time they won the Super Bowl.
I think the difference is, I think you're absolutely right. Your point on Kadarius Toney, he came in and I think he had a few set plays which he'd be a part of. I think you're seeing Xavier Worthy in more plays.
Yeah.
He's a much more integral part of that team than kind of Toney, or Sammy Watkins, or McCall Hardman, or Sky Moore. What was?
But it's putting in a threat, isn't it? You're having to scheme for them because you don't know what they're going to do.
I think also the difference with that. Him and Hollywood Brown, actually, they've got genuine pace. They can stretch the defense, and I think you're going to start seeing more from Kelce on the underneath with those two putting defenses apart, and that's just where the Chiefs start to get good because they've got Smith-Schuster and DeAndre Hopkins, who at this point especially in DeAndre Hopkins' career, at this point in his career, he's probably a slightly smaller tight end going across the middle rather than kind of running up and down the field all the time.
And that's only going to help Travis Kelce as this big red zone target with the best quarterback in the game. Talking about Kelce, he went ahead of Gonzalez, didn't he, in the tight end receptions.
He's going to the Hall of Fame, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, undoubtedly.
Third tight end to reach 1,000 receptions with Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez and Jason Witten.
Yeah.
who I don't think is Hall of Fame worthy. Well, although
I don't think Witten will get into the Hall
I don't
of
think
Fame.
Witten. I think it won't. It maybe not be first, or might end up as a later selection if there's a poor year.
I just feel like Witten's he accumulated a lot of stats, didn't he? I know we talk about Frank Gore did the same as a running back, whereas players
There's
like
Gates
Kelsey,
ahead of him.
Players like Kelsey, Gronk, Kittle, Mark Andrews, to an extent. They're much bigger parts of their offense.
Yeah,
Vernon Davis.
Yeah,
Vernon Davis is. Yeah, I'd much rather see them. Admittedly, as well, but it's esteemed company because Tony Gonzalez is the best tight end I've ever seen. Quite frankly, and
better than Gronk.
Yeah, I think I prefer Gonzalez to Gronk.
I think you're incorrect, but I think the problem is it's a little bit like the thing with Kelsey because he plays on the mega team and is an integral part of the mega team. You rate him less,
possibly, but yeah. So, but anyway, Wilson.
Look, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah,
you got the feeling they've got there. They don't care.
Yes, and they've had a brutal stretch now. They've lost 3 games, but those 3 games are to the Eagles, the Ravens, and the Chiefs.
Well, luckily they won't play teams like that in the playoffs.
Well, that's exactly it.
They've got the Bengals to go as well.
Jesus Christ, they might be going into the playoffs absolutely stone cold.
Limping.
And are they currently they are the 5th seed, so they'd have the Texans, which is fine. Would
It feels wrong. The Texans are the 4th seed.
Yes,
we'll come on and talk about the NFC with that.
Yes, but yeah. Anyway, elsewhere the Texans
I'd relegate one division.
Well, let's talk about the Texans.
Texans, go on.
I would relegate.
They're appalling.
Ravens 31, Texans 2.
Yeah.
Oh, bless.
I'd just like to thank you two as well for ruining my week. Listening to last week's pod, you guys talking about the
Tank Dell.
The Tank Dell injury.
Yeah.
Oh, did you go and watch that fight?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's so bad, isn't it?
It's so bad.
But everything when you look at it the first, you think, oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I know if you look at it properly.
Every angle it gets worse.
Yeah. Like as we said last week, in a year where he's been shot and broke his leg, that is still the worst thing that's happened because that is worse than being shot. Like
I'm not one of these people who's a pessimist, right? There's a lot more NFL players getting shot this season.
Yeah, there are.
I don't know if it's just I'm more cognizant of it.
I think admittedly the ones they are in the wrong place at the wrong time. It's not like the old Plaxico Burress shooting himself.
Anyone gets shot in the right place at the right time.
But no, like they're not. They are.
I got shot in the trauma ward at the hospital.
Yeah, but like they're not like they're bystanders to a shooting happening. They're not being
Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, well, Ricky Pearsall was. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, but it's just a sign of America, really, isn't it? As sad as it is, who've had a great start to the 2025. Lamar Jackson looked fucking brilliant, but
didn't have to do anything.
No, the Texans are so weak.
The Texans are so bad that the Ravens benched most of their starters.
Yeah,
and Josh Johnson had a couple of reps. Like it's just they're just. We talk about the Steelers limping into the playoffs. The Texans are just dire at the moment.
They're appalling,
crawling.
Literally, so the Chargers and the Chargers and the Steelers are on the same record, 10-6. The Steelers, as you say, have the Broncos, the Bengals, who can beat anyone,
including the Broncos.
Who have the Chargers got? Raiders. The Steelers really need to win this.
Yeah.
Because anyone in their right mind. So currently, Steelers go to the Texans. The Chargers go to the Ravens. You want to change that up.
Oh yeah.
I've just had a notification come through of the Ravens are going to. The Browns are starting Bailey Zappi.
Oh, the Browns. What's wrong? Hang on. So the Browns are starting Zappi.
Yes.
What's wrong with Winston? I know. I know he throws a lot of interceptions, but he also throws quite a few touchdowns.
He's too popular.
Yeah,
and he has far too good a relationship with Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah,
he makes our wideouts look too good.
Yeah. Anyway, the Texans, they just look so anemic, and it's a shame because there was a lot of hope for them.
Yeah,
but even the defense looks bad now.
I feel for them. Also, I feel for their coaching staff as well. So I think Bobby Sloat, the offensive coordinator, is probably in for a shout for a head coaching job.
Yeah,
probably this time last year they had another good year. Now I'm like,
no, it's
so there.
Yeah,
maybe that's good for the Texans.
Rebuild year,
but they've made Houston an attractive destination, and that's all you've got to be able to do.
Absolutely. Look at where they were compared to where they are now,
and they still have a cackload of cap space as well.
Diggs will be gone. I think that's probably wise. They've still got CJ Stroud on a rookie contract for another 2 years, effectively.
Yeah.
So
build that line.
Because
he got sacked a lot, and Mixon. I don't think the Mixon has reached the end, but behind that line, I just don't think he's not, an elite running back.
Can we talk about a fun game?
Yeah.
Can we talk about Packers Vikings?
Yes, let's do that. Let's go to the fun games now. Because
by the way, I'd just like to take it back. They have 12 million of cap space. They don't have a cack load.
Yes, but I imagine
Diggs going
might help that.
They'll restructure a load as well.
No, but the Commanders have 102 million. That's a cack load, and they're the third team.
Yeah.
Is it the Pats?
131 million of cap space.
It's a shame they're not going to get a new coach. So Vikings Packers was
Packers 25, Vikings 27. Good old fashioned NFC North slugfest.
Oh yes, Darnold slinging it,
absolutely slinging it,
dick.
Built up a commanding lead. And then suddenly the Packers woke up and made the fourth quarter really interesting and came pretty close to actually overtaking them. But, Darnold, at the beginning of the season, we were talking about Darnold as MVP.
Yeah.
And he's had a little bit of a slump mid-season, which is crazy considering they're still 14-2.
Exactly, yeah.
Dream of being 14.
I know.
I don't think I've ever known my team be 14-2.
Well, the 49ers have got there.
I mean, admittedly, apart from this week, we could have been the exact opposite of that. We could have been 2-14. Did you see?
Can't even suck.
Did you see Keyshawn Nixon? He was asked about facing the challenge of facing Sam Darnold. He said, "I don't think it really is a challenge." And you're like, just don't make their job fucking easy, you fucking dickhead.
This Sam Darnold, I mean, I know we're going to come and talk about the fixtures, but I can't wait for Vikings Lions.
Oh, it's going to be.
It's going to be brilliant.
I think it could be an absolute monster score fest.
Oh, I hope so.
I really hope so.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this. Flores has got a lot of good press this year. This is the time to Brian Flores' madcap defensive schemes against Ben Johnson's madcap offensive plotting could burst the space-time continuum.
So you've just tempted fate to us.
Yeah, 7-10.
It was 31-29 early in the season in favour of the Lions. And I don't think the Lions' defense... we're talking about next week's games, I know, but I don't think the Lions' defense is that great anymore. I think they're going to have to go out and score, which means that the Minnesota Vikings are going to have to go and score.
And they can, though.
They can.
We Addison is ending the season, because, Justin Jefferson you have to cover every play because he's the best receiver in football.
Yeah, I don't think that's in question now.
Jamar Chase.
I would rather have Justin Jefferson.
I love Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I do as well.
If I've given the choice, though, I'd have Justin Jefferson. But it's like 52-48.
Yeah.
But if you take away Burrow, would Chase be as good? Jefferson's done it with everyone.
Point. He's done it with Cousins and he's done it with Darnold.
He's done it with,
as well.
but the Pastronaut.
Yeah, exactly. The Pastronaut. Incidentally, he's starting for the 49ers on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, like, you looked at Darnold this game, comparing him to, the Panther Darnold, the Jets. He's just ice in his veins.
Isn't it great what a line can do for you?
A line and some coaching.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not a difficult game.
No.
Just have a good O-line and coach them.
I remember Gary, for the first couple of years, he kept saying, I mean, think about it, it's a game of catch. And I just have to believe that Kevin O'Connell is just putting this he doesn't look the sort of the bloke seeing ghosts. There's no pressure to Darnold anymore. Even though actually what he's playing in is so much more pressure. Yeah. He's playing for the fucking NFC.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, one of these teams, there's going to be a fifth seed that's going to be 14-3.
Yeah. I know.
What a ridiculous league.
They're 14-3, and the Rams are going to be 11-6 at best.
Yeah.
Could be 10-7.
I mean, so yeah. Lions 14-2, Eagles 13-3, 14-2. You can have a team that's got 14 wins, because I have to admit that I think the Eagles, even with their backups, will probably beat the Giants this weekend.
No, it'd be very Giants to win that game.
It would be very Giants to win that game.
You do get the feeling the Eagles are going to rest everyone.
Oh, everyone is being rested. Like
they've already said it. Yeah, Barkley's being rested.
Barkley's being rested. The injury report
surprise,
is everyone who's anyone is being rested, especially because Hurts is injured. There's no point. I still think they'll beat our backups, but you could have an NFC champion, a team with 14 wins, not even making the NFC Championship, let alone the fucking
Yeah, because realistically, they're going to be the fifth seed. If it all went to form in the wild card, they're then going and playing the Lions.
Yeah.
Like, you're relying on the Commanders and the Packers, I guess, and
it's mad.
Someone else to perhaps win their road game to stop the Vikings going to the Lions.
Admittedly, I look at the teams and I think the wild card currently are much better than the division winners. The Commanders, Viking Commanders, Packers, Eagles, Rams, Falcons, and Bucks. They are much better teams, so that might save them a bit. But fucking hell, it's mad. I love it. The Packers still.
Packers weren't terrible.
Packers aren't terrible.
They had a slow start, but yeah, like I said, got back into it. I think Josh Jacobs looks great.
Oh, it looks so good.
Yeah. And Aaron Jones looked decent as well. I felt like they were gunning for him to get a touchdown, but he never quite got there again. And I think this Packers thing, I said it a couple of times this season, they're just young, really deep roster where there is no Justin Jefferson, there is no star power there, but there's a collective of really good young players.
Yeah.
There's players you take on your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Christian Watson, I think, is so underrated for what he does.
I completely agree.
Yeah. No, I like the Packers, but I think that defensively they are better, but they're weak in the middle.
Yeah.
So, that's what the Packers are. But yeah, I still think them
great coach as well.
Yeah, really, really. As well, what they've done with having to play Malik Willis a couple of points throughout the season, and just they basically the three best coaches in the NFC are all in the NFC North, and Sean McVay. It's Sean McVay, your guy, Shanahan, and then everyone else in the NFC North is great. Everyone else is a fucking bum. So, yes.
Another good one.
Let's pick another good one.
No, it wasn't really good, but it was entertaining. Carolina 14, Tampa Bay 48.
I was hoping for a bit at the start. You're like, no, the Bucks got a good start, but Thielen got 2 touchdowns early. You're like, this could be a game. And no, the Bucks just
took off.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, 27 from 32, 359 yards and 5 touchdowns. One of his best games ever. So we talked about...
Who was his best receiver?
Mike Evans, 8 receptions, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns. 8 receptions with 9 targets.
It's amazing how much better quarterbacks look when they're throwing to Mike Evans.
So...
Yeah, no, always.
Mike Evans needs 85 yards for his 1,000 yards. Please. I don't know. Who are they playing? The Saints.
Has to.
And by the way, that's a Marshawn Lattimore-less Saints as well. So all of the usual problems he has.
Well, we didn't mention it last week because they hadn't played by the time we watched them, but they did lose 34-0 to the Packers.
I think we did call it.
We did. We didn't admittedly say it was going to be quite as humbling as that.
You get shut out. You're 85 million over cap.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dumpster fire.
Yeah.
We talk about, I guess, offensive rookie of the year and why no one's talking about Bucky Irvine.
Yeah.
It's only going to be one person.
I completely agree with you. It's only going to be Jaden Daniels. I think Bo Nick should be in the conversation. Brock Bauer should be in the conversation. Brian Thomas Jr. should be in the conversation. But Bucky Irving's really good. He's got over 1,000 yards already this season. He's been that running back, which they've lacked since Fournette kind of buggered off. And even Fournette wasn't that great.
No, basically the muscle hamster.
Yeah.
A couple of years.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
But he's been brilliant. I mean, this game, 20 carries, 113 yards, and also 4 receptions to 77 yards. He is going to be a fancy football darling next year.
Yeah.
And he's going to be so disappointed when
that's where he takes him. He's going to be really bad.
He was non-drafted, wasn't he? Oh no, fourth round. Okay, I thought he was a non-drafted.
Sticking with you can pick running backs up throughout the draft. Yeah, just a really, really good running back this year.
Yeah, and I think he's been so good. Like, Rashad White was a sort of highly touted one for a couple of years, and then he's never going to be. And even Rashad White is like it's a 1-2 punch. They're really good.
Yeah.
The Bucks have had trouble with injury. Like Mike Evans was gone for 4 or 5 games. Godwin gone.
I said it last week as well. Jalen McMillan.
Oh yeah,
great player.
Another good rookie. Their 3rd round pick this year. He's only been the last few weeks he's come through. He's got 32 receptions for 187 yards, but he stepped into that number 2 receiver role. And that's a good prospect for them going into next year.
They do very well in Tampa with, if they're hot, keep going.
Yeah.
Because I think a Tampa team of a few years ago would have just kept playing Rashad White regardless.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the Bucks have had probably a better season than most people expected.
It does help when you have a line.
Does help when you're in the NFC South.
Does help you in the NFC South, but they do play a lot of teams obviously outside of it as well.
They beat the Lions.
And
that future Hall of Fame wideout and the number 1 overall pick previously do help.
Yeah.
All right, number 1 overall pick that's been classed as a bum.
He was cast out with the fucking Panthers.
Yeah, we talked about Darnold. Mayfield was the number 1 pick for that. Darnold the number 3 pick that year.
So who's taking Josh Rosen?
Well, I want to know who's taking Zach Wilson.
I think he could end up on another team.
I mean, I know he's in Denver at the moment. He's not obviously going to win that job through Bo Nix. He'll probably hit free agency. Someone will take a flyer on him.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure someone will. If he gets a decent head coach, who I'm not going to say he's going to start, but if he could have a year with a Shanahan, a Connell,
he's just had a year.
McVay.
Well, he's had a year with Peyton.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting just to see. Has he improved in that time? Just
playing
under a decent coach.
He might be a good fit for the Jets. They might have a QB slat open.
By the way, did you see my favourite thing of the week? That Jelly McMillan hates ducks. Because there was a duck on the field at one point.
Yeah.
Someone asked me about it when I hate ducks. Like, mate, how can you hate ducks? You fucking weirdo.
What a generalisation.
Yeah.
As well.
For the Panthers, like Bryce Young's looking better. Yeah. Just keep going. The season nearly ended.
God, there's a lot of one-sided games.
So should we talk about an interesting game that was on the Friday night? Because
I can't remember what was on what.
The Bengals beat the Broncos, because that is related to the playoffs, which of course is the main thrust of the next week or so.
All right, this went to overtime, didn't it?
Yeah, Bengals 30, Broncos 24. And, well, I mean, I fucking love I absolutely adore watching the Bengals. I would watch them every week, and you're never quite sure what you're going to get.
I want you to adjust that statement a little bit. I love watching the Bengals offense.
I love watching the Bengals offense. I love watching the Bengals defense because it's appalling.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
To Trey Hendrickson and 10 other guys.
Yeah. It's so poor. But, so they beat the Broncos, and it keeps them on the bubble. So the Broncos now need to go and beat the Chiefs. Admittedly, Carson Wentz Chiefs.
I was going to say, it's good, but all the Chiefs backups.
Every Carson they have.
Yeah. Yeah, all their Carsons. I think they need to. So the Broncos need to beat the Chiefs, and it's done.
Yeah.
If they don't, the Bengals need to win, and I think they need to hope that the Dolphins lose. So the Bengals play the Steelers, which admittedly it's not easy because they'll be full strength.
But they're in. They may be full strength, but they don't care.
They do. I think they will care. I think they'll like
interdivisional.
The AFC North's different.
Interdivisional.
Yeah. They won't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs. They would take as much pleasure of being in the playoffs, I think, as well as much as knocking the Bengals out of it.
I'd also say that there's probably one other team in the AFC that doesn't want to see the Bengals in the playoffs.
The Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
They might just roll over and let the Broncos win.
Yeah.
Come on in, because we don't want to play them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's so...
I don't think any other team would want to see the Bengals in the playoffs.
Oh, like, they're such a berserker.
They have on their day, they can score 50 points in a blink of an eye because they've got that offense. And it's like, okay, have we got the offense to keep up with them?
It's mad because even the offense, they have no running attack. The running backs are fine. Like they are at best
distinctly
fine.
Average.
Doesn't matter. They have probably the two most informed wideouts in the league, in Chase and T. Higgins. Who, by the way, if he doesn't get a contract at the Bengals, then
I don't think he will.
Chase. But they should have paid Chase, and you can have a well-paid quarterback and two receivers. The Dolphins.
Yeah, but I think the only way this happens now is
the Bucks.
Potentially a restructure on Joe Burrow's contract.
Yeah.
And for Higgins and Chase to both go, all right, we're not going to demand market value.
Well, Higgins has moved to the same agent as Jamar Chase.
Right. And they've both got to be on that wavelength. It's like, we're not going to... Because realistically, I think Jamar Chase could reset the wide receiver market. Yeah. He's got to be willing to not do that in order to keep Higgins there.
Yeah.
I think it's when you see, like, Deebo Samuel's options were, I want to leave, okay, welcome to New England.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Yeah.
But if, I mean, that was mainly on, because it was a trade basis. Higgins is going to hit free agency.
Yeah.
And he'll be the best free agent in the market.
Oh, yeah.
I know they were, like, franchise tagging him 2 years in a row or something, haven't they, with Higgins?
Well, the Commanders, with all that cap space you mentioned just now, Higgins and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
With Jaden Daniels. Yeah, right.
Jesus. teams, I suppose there's legal and non-legal tampering, isn't there? But teams would have had the ability to get to T. Higgins, surely.
You'd have thought so. Like, they know who his agents is quite clearly telling people who his agents are.
There probably is an element of, like, is he that good or is he that good because Jamar Chase is taking all the coverage? I think he's that good.
I think he is that good. And the only thing against him is he does get injuries.
Yeah.
But, I mean, admittedly, apart from like 2 or 3 absolute fucking unicorns, so does everyone else.
Some of his catches on
Friday night, yeah.
Well, the last 2 catches were where he got the first down and then he scored the touchdown. Brilliant catches.
Yeah. No. They admittedly they have the most expensive defense.
That's embarrassing.
Which is embarrassing.
They need to clear out the defense.
They need to clear out everyone bar Trey Hendrickson. Cam
Taylor Britt's decent.
He's fine.
That's the word, decent.
Yeah, but yeah,
not someone I'll get rid of.
It's just, everything about it just feels non-Bengalsy though. They aren't going to make the right decision because
they're just one of the tightest of franchises. They don't like spending money.
They've got 61 million in cap space.
Yeah, cap space is fun. They just don't like spending it.
But that's what scares me.
Yeah. But no, spend some fucking cash.
Yeah,
keep your 2 guys as well because you're paying your quarterback 55 million quid a year. Give him his mates that he wants to throw to because
Burrows is the type of quarterback you could have the conversation with of, will you be paid less to keep these 2?
Yeah,
he seems to be making basically come out and said, I want to keep playing with T. Higgins. Well, whether he's willing to
Brady it,
who knows? But I
remember the cap ceiling will go up again.
Exactly,
well.
Yeah.
There'll be another 20-30 million there.
Yeah.
Every team.
No, if a sensible team can get this done.
Yeah.
So
no.
Admit on the other side, the Broncos.
That's a very well done insult there.
Yeah. The bomb from Bo Nix to Mims to bring overtime.
I mean, Mims looked amazing as a deep threat in that game.
Just got a quarterback like Bo Nix who is that accurate.
Yeah.
And can sling it that far. Then players like Marvin Mims who can run fast are going to get good touchdowns, like fancy long touchdowns. I think Bo Nix is the advertisement for every college quarterback to stay in college.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because his level of maturity is just beyond most rookie quarterbacks we've seen.
Well, I think
for the last 4 or 5 years.
You've seen NIL is making them stay there longer.
It does make it more feasible for them to stay. You look at players like Arch Manning, you're going to be making millions already. Stay in Texas and get a couple of years starting, actually get some experience under your belt. He's got all the talent in the world, obviously,
and he's got some decent advice.
You'd hope decent advisors around him as well.
You can go to Uncle Peyton.
Yeah, and Texas is a good program at the moment.
So. Don't go to San Diego. You'll be fine.
But, I admit the disappointment for me this game was I felt Peyton just was a bit
cautious,
almost as if he was playing for a draw, and which you don't want to do when the other team has Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Yeah, just go for the 2 points at the end. You lose. You're going. If it gets to overtime, it's a weird game. It's not proper football. It's basically the team with the coin toss might win.
Still don't like the overtime rules.
No, I still don't.
I don't think there's a way to do it fairly within how football works.
They do it in the playoffs.
Yeah,
everyone gets a possession, no matter what happens, and that's fine. Why can't the rules be the same? It's ridiculous. Anyway.
Elsewhere, the Chargers are in the playoffs after they thump the Patriots 40-7.
That's why Griff's not here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, Griffin loved talking about the Patriots.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'd love it.
But there's only so many times a man can get crushed.
And this was crushed. And this was Justin Herbert, again, playing lights-out football against a pretty bad team, though.
Yeah. 21 touchdown passes this year, 3 interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 99.9.
I would have expected more touchdowns, though.
They're not.
Remember, I mean, what their running backs got in touchdown-wise?
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins and Gus the Bus.
Yeah, J.K. Dobbins got 9 touchdowns. And he's been out for a good few weeks.
I suppose he's not a runner as well, is he?
Yeah, exactly.
I think, don't get me wrong, I'm beginning to thaw my icy view towards Justin Herbert. I just think he could do more.
With what? I think he's done a lot with not very much.
Yeah, he's got Lad McConkey.
Yeah.
Like, they are the beginning of a hardball team. It's very, very industrial and it's not flash. But the thing is, if you have Herbert, you can have a very basic offense. It's not basic, but with Herbert, you can then put in those flashes, and you have an accurate quarterback. And they have the line now. They have an offensive line who, admittedly, throughout the season they've had injuries, as everyone does. I think he gives them so much possibility, and as well the fact that
they've got Joe Alt-Delete as well, haven't they?
But yeah, they've also got in defence, like, someone's resurrected Khalil Mack.
Yep.
Joey Bosa.
I think also my key criticism of Herbert is if the quarterback is like the leader of the team and should be dragging them forward. They had so many good players, that team that should be comfortably making the playoffs. They have, and that was my criticism. They've now comfortably made the playoffs.
I agree. I think this is on paper, this is a worse team than it was last year.
Yeah.
But I think that's. I think maybe losing some of those veterans, especially on the offensive side, has allowed Justin Herbert to step up into that more leadership, probably more comfortable being in that leadership role.
Like Keenan Allen will demand a certain amount of targets. Not necessarily him shouting out, but a player of his stature would naturally get.
Comes with an ego, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Especially when you're playing with a young quarterback who perhaps hasn't developed that kind of forthrightness to say, no, you're not open all the time. This guy is. That's why I'm throwing to him.
Yeah.
We're hypothesizing, but yeah, you could see that being something. And that's not there this year. And we've seen the emergence. Quinton Johnson had a terrible rookie season, has been all right this year. That's a couple of good moments.
Someone you can bet on.
Yeah. Lad McConkey has had a 1,000-yard season. I was just looking because at the draft, are we going to look back at the 2024 draft class and go, fuck me, this is one of the best draft classes ever?
It might be, because there's
very good.
There are a lot, especially a wide receiver, there are a lot of rookies who are like being decent.
Do you know what absolutely blew my mind with wideout stats? Out of the top 6 in receiving yards, all 5 of those 6, if you take away the guy in 5th, I can't remember his name, forgive me, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 were all born in Louisiana, 120 miles from each other.
Yeah.
That's a great stat. That's crazy.
That's insane.
You're going down it.
See, just draft the guy. Is your wideout playing for LSU? Excellent. Draft them.
So same for Ohio State. But yeah, going down to Caleb Williams, right? He's tough season, but in a bad team. But he's fine.
There's potential there, isn't it? I'm a Williams fan.
Yeah.
I didn't think I would be, but
Daniels, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors, J.C. Latham, even from the Titans, all had solid seasons. We haven't seen enough of Michael Penix Jr. yet, but signs.
Well, the fact is, right? he's fought out Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, Dunze has had patches and on a bad team. We haven't seen anything on JJ McCarthy. Then you got Fashion at the Jets, Bo Nix, Brock Bowers, Talisi Fuaga at the Saints. Aitu Latu has been all right. Byron Murphy, we're not seeing much. Dallas Turner, we're starting to see more of him at the Vikings. Gerard Verse, Chop Robinson have been decent. Brian Thomas. The list just goes on. Xavier Worthy, we mentioned previously. Even Ricky Purcell, we got shot and had a great catch this week.
Yeah, he did. Legit
has been decent. Keon Coleman's been decent. Now McConkey. There are a lot of good players that have been taken in this draft who are Cooper DeJean as well, who've been brilliant. Yeah, I think we're going to look back at this draft in 5-6 years' time, and it's like that's one of those draft classes. It was like, really fucking good.
No, but especially receiver. Like,
yeah,
I think that I'm looking at it now, and I think the first whiff is Poke.
Yeah,
which I still love the fact that Ricky Purcell got shot in the chest.
And he got more yards that last week than Polk's got all season.
Yeah.
AD Mitchell, I was hoping big thing for hasn't really happened, but I think it's more.
You can tell there's a player there.
It's a Colts issue, not an AD Mitchell thing. But yeah, I think we will look back.
We mentioned Bucky Irving earlier as well. Like Trey Benson, the running back at Cardinals, has had moments. Like there are some. Yeah, just struck me as well. We kept talking about these rookies. I reckon this is going to be a great rookie class.
Yeah,
I reckon the next one might be shit.
That's what worries me. So. Should we quickly mention Thursday Night Football? We don't have to be long. The Bears 3, Seahawks 6. It ruined my Christmas next one.
Just move on. Sorry, Seahawks 6, Bears 3.
Oh, I've got a bone to pick with you guys, actually, from last week.
No one scored in the second half.
I've got a real bone to pick with you
Right,
guys. Marvin Harrison Jr. is okay.
Yeah.
I expected better. He is above Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Oh, no.
No, man.
Wrong. Both of you are wrong.
No, not at the moment. He might be in the future.
I would rather have Harrison in my team today than Smith and Jigba.
Smith and Jigba's had a great couple of weeks.
Smith and Jigba has finished this season brilliantly.
This game.
Apart from, But both teams are really good defensively.
Yeah, they are.
And have question marks in the offense. Yeah.
And
while we're doing thing, Rams 13, Cardinals 9. Rams still, they're in the playoffs. I don't trust them at all. But
good coach.
Berserker, they could be.
But that is exactly it. They are 50% of the time, they're really, really good. It's unfortunate in the playoffs they're going to have to play 3 games. So if you're only good 50% of the time, that means you lose one. So you got that there. But if they have one of their good guys, they still have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. It's the line isn't very good in front of him.
It's true.
Gerard Verse, another rookie.
Really good.
Defensive rookie of the year. As I called it early in the season. But yeah, he's had a great season. I can't believe we've not talked about this game yet.
You mean the Bills 40?
No.
Oh, because I thought it'd be really fun.
Colts 33, Giants 45. You won a game.
We did.
We can't even suck right, though.
Yeah. The worst opportunity.
I don't. The thing is,
look, I'm going to jump in because Neighbours was used effectively.
Yep.
Which was great, and he was getting touchdowns. Tyrone Tracy was running the ball. It does feel a lot of it was just, okay, Drew, just throw the fucking ball. And I liked it it felt like they actually just went to Drew, okay, this is yours now. He's not the answer. And we're playing a team who aren't as good as their... I
think the Colts are a bad team.
Terrible team.
Yeah.
I think they're a bad team.
A few weeks ago, the playoffs was in their hands.
Yeah, I don't understand.
And they've absolutely botched it, and it's funny as fuck.
I think it's only because they're in such a bad division.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you switch these two teams around in terms of like the divisions they're in, I think you'd probably see quite a similar thing in terms of the Giants probably win a couple more games, and the Colts probably lose a good few more games. I think as soon as the Colts come up against anyone decent...
Oh, yeah, they get found out.
I'd struggle to tell you a single person on the Colts defence.
DeForest Buckner.
You had to think about it.
I had to look.
Yeah. I mean, but that's... The Colts are such a meh team at the minute.
Yeah. And, what is... I mean, for all of them various, when our offense has been stodgy as shit this whole season, I think we got 180 yards after the catch this week. Like, that is insane.
But I really like the use of Wan'Dale Robinson.
I love Wan'Dale Robinson. I like
Solid player.
really fun player. Just always he's either injured or he's playing with Daniel Jones. And that's the thing. I just can't get away from the hell of this season and the season before. And so you have these 2 seasons, you fire the coach. Normally. But there's the Jonesness of it all that I just can't get over. So, yeah.
Then he's got into a Kevin O'Connell system, and whoever he goes to next, he'll be great, probably.
Well, the thing is, I keep seeing things that basically, Darnold's been so good. Do they sign him up at the Vikings and trade away McCarthy? Because I know he's come back from an injury, but the draft class this year is not great.
No.
Like,
not from a quarterback point of
From
view.
a quarterback point of view, which is why where the interest for the draft comes, admittedly, it's poor.
Shedeur Sanders overhyped.
Hype.
This is why I was on the Giants Reddit the other day, and people were losing their fucking mind. I'm not bothered because both of the guys, I'm not.
Shedeur Sanders, the Colorado Buffaloes haven't won a game against a good team.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't beaten a good team. They're flat track bullies, and that just means, yeah, you kind of got some good stats, and some good players against lesser opposition.
Yeah.
But you want to see, if you're taking a quarterback with the first pick, you want to see them going up against the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Ohio States, against really good defenses. What can you do? And I don't think there's any of that tape on Shedeur Sanders at the moment.
No. And, the Schoen's been out and looking at Shedeur and the other guy, is it Ward?
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward.
Cam Ward is who I would want.
Yeah, I'll take him over.
But the thing is, what's going to happen is, well, we're now down to the 4th pick, aren't we?
Yes.
Which means we are behind the Pats, who have number 1, who
don't need a quarterback.
Don't need a quarterback, and
should trade out that position if they can.
If they can trade out, they should. Or if they don't, they take Hunter, who is this sort of unicorn player. But they can probably trade back and still get.
Probably still get Hunter.
Hunter, but who knows? Anyway, yeah, the Browns are ahead of us, and
could take a quarterback.
Titans
Won't take. Ooh, hang on.
could take a quarterback.
Should take a quarterback.
Yeah, and then
They won't.
Will for instance Vegas want to move up and take Shedeur, or the one thing that worries me, I don't want to move up because I don't see either of these guys worth mortgaging the future for.
I agree with you.
I'd rather have a Darnold, a free agent just to have some sort of
Cousins.
Yeah, even basically
Winston.
Immovable Kirk Cousins. I'd rather have than.
Yeah, like we did well with like a Kerry Collins type coming in, when we had him in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, the Colts are appalling.
The thing is, I think there's no. We said it last week, didn't we? We said it the week before that. There's no hope for the Colts at quarterback. I don't think.
No,
you've got a Taysom Hill, and he's not anyone you can lean on, and then I don't know what they're doing.
Even if he was,
even
if he was good, not good, but
if he's Lamar Jackson, where rushing is an integral part of his play, because Lamar Jackson at the beginning, his throws weren't as good as they are now.
Same with Josh Allen as well.
But you build a team around them. You don't just go, here's the guys, which it seems like the Colts have done.
Well, they even because, it all seems built wrong. But yeah, we'll go take a break, and we'll come back and go through the rest. Okay, welcome back. So we should probably mention the Lions, and sorry, Jim, and the 49ers.
No, I'm happy with this. I'm good with this because in the stead of the 49ers going to the playoffs, I am firmly rooting for the Lions
Nice.
So them losing to the Lions, I'm all okay for. And actually, pretty decent game.
Yeah. Yep.
But I do think it kind of shows a bit of some of the frailties of the Lions' defense.
Nice. Sorry, Paul just showed something. Yes, this is the thing that worries me is as well. They're going to face better offenses than the 49ers currently, who admit at least Debo waited until the championship finals to turn up this year. So he got a lot of points for people's benches.
Didn't have that great a game.
No.
Ricky Pearsall, though, 8 receptions, 141 yards and a touchdown. So that's exciting.
It bodes well.
Yeah.
It bodes well.
He can play, apparently.
For the Lions, it's just more the same.
But it was a game they needed to win, and they did.
Yep, absolutely. And away from home as well. Never easy.
Nope.
And
Out of a bowl.
a lot of the players the 49ers have are coming back. They're not full strength.
No. But they're not a bad team.
No, they're always going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Kittle, I mean, is still one of the top Titans in the league.
He's had a great season. All things considered, he really has had a great season.
Yeah. But yeah, so elsewhere, the Eagles, 41 against the 7 Cowboys. Cowboys.
Absolute shot.
Oh, it's absolutely.
Demolished.
And this is the thing is as well. This was an Eagles team with Pickett and Tanner McKee.
Tanner McKee looked great.
He did, didn't he?
Tanner McKee looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Pickett did have the most hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't even know what it was. Fumble.
He went to throw it and didn't.
He went to throw it, but held onto it. So did a flip in the air,
as if it was glued to his hand.
Yeah.
Don't the wideouts you stick them, not the quarterback.
Yeah. It was bonkers to watch.
Yeah. Wide out AJ Brown who caught the first touchdown from Tanner McKee and then threw the ball into the crowd.
Yeah.
But
you
you
could,
back though.
You could see he knew instantly he'd effed up. Though.
Yeah, but luckily the big Dom's back, isn't he? So
no one's arguing with him.
No.
I want the ball back.
Okay. Yes. I think he'll get it. He probably got some signed AJ.
He did. He got a start. There was pictures afterwards of AJ Brown took it off his game jersey and signed it.
Good. Yeah.
So fair. It was fair play.
Because who else was it? Someone else this weekend. We'll get to the Falcons. They caught Penix's first touchdown. I think what was it the week before? Just chucked it into the crowd.
It would.
So yeah,
should mention Saquon Barkley over 2,000 yards.
Yes,
for the season,
and did it in 16 games.
Yeah.
So it counts as a record. Admittedly, he was still short of LaDainian Tomlinson's record, and
Dickerson.
Sorry, and which is the 16 game record. The most yards per game is a record they don't mention because that's held by O.J. Simpson, who was over 143 yards a game.
Absolutely murdered it.
Oh yeah, slashing through. Oh, any defense is
killed it.
Yeah. It's okay now. He's dead. Yeah. So the Commanders 30, Falcons 24.
The Falcons are just.
They're bad, but at least
still in the hunt, aren't they? And
what
they needed to win
bad
this
division.
Game,
Bad division.
I do feel like the Falcons are starting to make a bit more sense now with Michael Penix Jr. and more coming from Bijan Robinson.
Exactly. The fact that the quarterback can move.
Yeah, makes a massive difference.
We haven't seen. I don't think the range of what Penix can do yet, but it's more than what Cousins can do. On the other side, Commanders. Daniels was fine. Where he was really good
was in the running game. 127 yards off 16 carries. I think this cemented his Rookie of the Year award. I don't necessarily agree with it, but that's where it will go.
But he deserves it. You look at where that franchise was pre him.
Oh, granted, he's then again definitely should be in the running.
They've never had as many wins as they've had this season in all of the previous owner. So
Fair. All right, we'll take it.
So yeah, well done.
Jets 14, Bills 40.
It's so funny.
There's that photo of the Jets getting ready to do their pre-game strut out, and Alan just
Watching with the fucking boom
They got
box.
the boom box and they're giving it all large, and Alan's just sitting there going to kill you.
Yeah. Because when he, because of course he didn't have to play the whole game because they were embarrassing them. I think it was the 34, 32, 33 points up.
Yeah.
Somebody left. Trubisky came in, threw a pass to Shavers, was it? Who then went and got a 70-yard touchdown. The firing of Salah might be the dumbest decision the
It's
team's
crazy,
made.
isn't it? Like, if most teams have like a new manager, new coach bump,
Yeah.
it's gone completely the other way. The Jets can't even get that right.
No. Well, because of course they took the defensive coordinator away from who was working with the defensive head coach, and suddenly the defense just isn't as good anymore.
Aaron Rodgers got called for
Unnecessary
roughness
when he hit the bloke off the field. Like the whole thing just screams.
Garrett Wilson's been saying that if Aaron Rodgers is back next year, he won't be.
Yep.
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce Gardner's actively trying not to hire people, bring people in by saying, "Don't come here, T. Higgins. No, don't do it." And I don't think T. Higgins would. I mean, this
Dumpster fire.
I mean, how they got 4 wins is actually quite impressive. I'm not really sure how that works, but I don't know where they start. They got to get a new GM, and what the fuck do I do first?
Well, as well, no one wants that job
No, not when
because
Woody Johnson's in charge.
Woody Johnson's still in charge, and he makes all the shots. So
Him or his son, based on Madden.
or what people are talking about on Twitter.
Yeah, them not bringing in Jerry Judy because of his Madden
Because of
stats.
his Madden rating, yeah.
Good Lord.
I mean,
So it looks like the Rodgers relationship is absolutely busted between Johnson and Rodgers, because it was always going to be, even just, of course, Rodgers is not probably going to be the greatest friends with the head of Johnson & Johnson.
always seemed like an odd mix. I've been watching, you captured it, there's a great documentary series on YouTube called Building Buffalo or something like that, and it's all about them building the stadium. It's obviously getting a new stadium in 2026. It looks incredible, amazing. But whenever I watch, I can't help thinking, it's like, where do you start with building a stadium? How do you, like, you've got so many different things to consider, wiring, steels, everything. It's like, blows my mind. That's how I feel about the Jets organisation at the moment. Where the fuck do you start? Because,
well, for me, you go to the toilet and you clean out the backed up shit. Aaron, here's the door.
you literally,
I don't care if I had 120 million of dead cap.
yeah,
Go.
Well, it's 49 million if they release him.
Go.
they've got to.
Yeah.
They absolutely have to. They have to get rid of.
Do you still
half
have the
roster,
dead?
at least.
You still get the dead cap if he retires, don't you?
Yep.
Yep.
Because that's why the Saints were in hell
In
for
hell for
years.
Drew Brees, yeah.
Still.
I think they're just through it.
No, because it's 2 years.
No, okay, but that's it's that toxic.
Yeah.
If they cut him post June 1st, which of course you can just say we're going to cut him post June 1st, whatever. I think it's only 14 million.
We are cutting you just publicly. Press release,
But yeah,
press conference.
so it's semantics and stuff. But of course, if they do cut him, then they have to pay him his bonuses and stuff. So it's whether they want to lose the cash or take the cap hit. I don't know.
Go watch that YouTube documentary. It's really good.
Oh, I
It's
will.
3 parts.
To be fair, any documentary around the Four Falls of Buffalo on Disney is very good as well.
Yeah. Something else as well is Devontae Adams is on $35 million next year. That's his basic salary.
Are the Raiders paying that, or do the Jets pay it?
The Jets pay it.
God, I can't even get that right.
So you it just shows you what they do, because they look like they were building a nice little core. You had Quinnen Williams, Sauce Gardner. Yeah. You had some nice, Breece Hall was
Elijah Vera Tucker.
Yeah.
starting to build the offensive line. Right, didn't quite get all right, but yeah, they were building a good young team.
I think that's where they have to, if you go back to the stadium analogy, it's they need to build the foundations, don't they? They need to look at the Lions.
I think they were there.
They were doing it, and then blew it up for a 41-year-old quarterback.
But I mean, they even had form, because Brett Favre went there and shat the bed before, didn't he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I've never known anything like that. I've never known a cap number like Hassan Reddick's for next year. Do you know what his cap number is? What his thing against the cap is? 22,000 million?
I was going to say million.
15 million.
$80.
$80.
His cap number is $80.
I would give it myself to them.
But if they cut him, it's 4.2 billion. So it's absolutely mad. Just they've burnt the house down. Who knows what they're going to do? But whatever it is, if it fucks up, I'll be there to laugh. So
the irony of the Johnson & Johnson guy letting a disease run rampant through his team.
Yeah. So the Dolphins are still in the playoff hunt.
Considering their roster, they are the least convincing team I've ever seen. But seriously though, the wideout room is one of the best in the league on paper.
Yep.
The running back, A-Chain, is great.
Sometimes.
As a catching back.
A lot of teams in the league, A-Chain would find a space in 17 of the 32 teams in the league.
I like A-Chain.
Oh, I love A-Chain, but the line is appalling. That's the thing.
And you've got a good quarterback.
When he's fit.
Yeah, you've got an above-average quarterback.
Yep.
You've got some decent defensive pieces.
Yep, actually quite a few defensive pieces, I'd argue.
Admit it, you look at the thing. They played the remnants of the 49ers. So they beat the Browns, who even have lost to the Giants this year. They played what's left of the 49ers. They lost to the Texans. This is how bad they are. They beat the Jets. They lost to the Packers. They beat the Patriots. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Rams when the Rams were not looking great. They have had a really good schedule. That's why they're still in it. And they finish with the Jets.
You're right. They have had a good schedule, but some of the losses...
They've lost to
the Titans. They've lost to the Colts. I'd argue they lost to the Seahawks.
But they should win that game.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, obviously, they're going to lose to the Bills. The Bills are brilliant. So there are games in there that they probably should have won, even without a fully fit Tua, because...
And Tua isn't playing this week.
Yeah, I mean, that's a massive issue. But given everything we know, we said it when he was injured, given everything we know about Tua, to not have a serviceable backup to Tua...
Criminal.
Absolutely criminal. You can get away with it if you've got a quarterback like Josh Allen, who seems to never get injured. Fine. But if you really look at them, they got Mitch Trubisky. He's won games before. He's got into the playoffs before. Why?
He was a double doink away from doing well in it.
Why haven't the Dolphins got a decent backup?
Yeah.
Even a potential rookie with some talent, to turn it over to, I can't remember what the guy's name was. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyler Huntley's better. Got a bit of form. He actually had a decent game. But
Kyler Thompson?
Yeah, something like that.
Something.
Yeah, anyway, so yeah, criminal by Miami. I completely agree.
Yeah. Elsewhere, I mean, so the Jags beat the Titans in a battle of who could give a shit. And in the other toilet bowl, the Raiders beat the Saints.
Because everyone beats the Saints.
Because everyone beats the Saints. To help cement their inability to get a quarterback, which is what they really need. So, this week, we're going to quick. I think we move early. We look at the games for next week.
Right.
Because, admittedly, I want us to say, in the NFC, is it the Bucks or the Falcons?
Bucks.
Bucks.
So who are the Bucks playing?
At home to the Saints.
Ooh, that's as much of a gimme as it gets. Where are the Falcons?
The Falcons are home to the Panthers.
Not as.
That's also a potential gimme.
Well, I'd take the Saints over the Panthers.
I'd take the Saints over the
If
Panthers.
you're looking for a team to beat at the moment.
Yeah, the Saints are
appalling. So we're going with the Bucks. There, Broncos, Dolphins, Bengals. Do we see the Broncos beating the Chiefs B team?
It's in Denver as well.
Yep.
Yeah,
I do. Broncos are a good team.
Yeah, and a good defense.
Yeah.
You've got Carson Wentz potentially throwing at Pat Surtain. And if you're throwing at Pat Surtain, this sort of stat, I don't know if it's particularly, I don't know if it was based on last week, but
a rating of about 4.
if you're throwing on him, you've got a rating of 39.9, which is less than if a quarterback rating of throwing it into the ground.
Yeah.
But this is also a bit of an unknown because it's a Carson Wentz who has been in an Andy Reid system for 16 games, has sat behind the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, and I normally agree with you, but I think it's because it's going to be all their replacements.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be all the Denver replacements, and it's in Denver. I think that counts.
Yeah, I still think Denver will win.
So let's say the Broncos. I'm going to say the Chiefs win.
Okay.
Because actually, I think the Broncos will win. But
You want the Bengals to get in, don't you?
I want the Bengals there, of course.
You're a Bengals fan, aren't you? They're your second team, aren't
yeah.
they?
The thing about the Bengals is I don't see the Dolphins losing to the Jets, even though it's
It's in New York.
Yeah.
And it's Tyler Huntley. I
Yeah.
don't think that matters. I think the Jets are just so bad.
Yeah. Can't get out their own way. And the Bengals against the Steelers,
at Pittsburgh.
they have the hardest game. They need the other results to go their way.
It's Saturday night as well.
Yeah.
It's football, though, isn't it? And
Hey, it's football. That's it. So, yeah. Because it's Saturday night, it does mean that if they do win, it puts pressure on the other teams.
I like that.
So, we'll see. I'd love the Bengals to do it because I quite like watching this Broncos team. I think that they are, compared to the mess they were 2 years ago,
Building something.
they are building something.
well, the mess they were last year. I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's what, 18 months since the 70-20 game.
yeah. I mean, also, yeah, the Dolphins.
So, yeah. But I don't think the Bengals. Admittedly, I also did predict a Bengals Super Bowl thing, so I really need them to do well. So
It's all right. You're talking to a guy who predicted the Bills might not make the playoffs this year.
Strong.
yes, we'll go into our predictions next week because we might want to change them. For instance, I might want to change them because half of my things won't be in the playoffs. Any other games that take your fancy? I mean, the game of the weekend is obviously we mentioned it. It's the Vikings Lions
Sunday night.
Yeah,
Not going to watch that, but
anything else? I don't really care.
I mean, Seahawks.
Packers Bears is generally always fun in it.
Bears is a good game. Yeah, historical sense, oldest game.
Colts Jags could be an absolute fucking toilet.
Yeah, it's all about the Vikings Lions.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah,
There's a lot of ramification of the number one pick, isn't there?
yes.
So the Chargers could quite happily rest a lot of their players against the Raiders. So that could have an effect on the Raiders getting the first
The Bills
overall.
might want to rest.
It's the Patriots.
It's the Pats.
And to be fair, the Eagles have already made it clear they're going to be resting players against us.
Yeah.
So, but there's no suck for luck,
And
is there?
the Texans was so bad last week. I know it's the Titans, but
They're in the playoffs. They may
rest players because
I think comfortably.
the whole team
rest
is
players.
based around we need CJ Stroud to be incredible and Nico Collins to be the best receiver in football, which he has been at times.
If you look at the draft order at the moment, there are 2 games that separate the top 10.
Yeah. It's so bad, isn't it?
Yeah, New England, you've got 4 teams on 3 and 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams on 4 and 12, and then you got the Saints on 5 and 11.
So what we'd like you to do, Tommy, bring in Tommy DeVito, snap the ball, and just throw it directly down the middle for 30 yards every play. Just see what happens.
But to your point, there's no player who people are sucking for, tanking for, realistically.
But Cam Ward or Shadur Sanders are going to be better than what we have. And they'll be cheaper than what we have.
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not excited about it. I don't as well. Daboll knows he's coaching for his job.
That's true.
All these coaches, they're coaching for their job. I
don't know. I think some are gone already.
Yeah, but there's so much poor play in the league this year.
But I wish, in terms of who's going to be sacked, I asked AI. I showed you guys a conversation with Microsoft Copilot. Of course, other forms of AI are available.
Yes.
Getting it to predict a coach that was going to be sacked was good fun.
It was hard, wasn't it?
It's hard work.
But who was the first coach it predicted?
Pedersen.
Dr. Pedersen.
Yeah.
He's the bookie's favourite.
Obviously.
Elsewhere,
Black Monday,
Black Monday
is
is approaching. So by this time next week, we'll have some. You have to remember last year, Arthur Smith was fired before he left the pitch.
Brilliant. Over under on coaching or kind of job availability in total. I'm going to put the mark at 7.
I say I'm taking the under on that.
Under 7. There's 3 available already.
So there's 3 available. I can see Pedersen going. Pierce,
Mayo.
Well,
I can't see Mayo going.
I think Mayo will go because I believe that the Titans head coach Vrabel has come out and said he wants the Pets job. That's the only, and I think they might go, oh well, actually, he's too good to turn down.
They could have.
That means the decision maker in this over under is Daboll. I'm not sure.
I saw it as 6.
I am shocked. This odds checker you've put into our running order. How low Mike McCarthy is on it. Zach Taylor's got better odds of being sacked than Mike McCarthy. Where have you got this from? Because I think Mike McCarthy's a done.
Oh, I think McCarthy should be done, but I think the reason he's not, and this was admittedly I couldn't find a live thing, but this was 6 days old. So this was just before they lost so humiliatingly to the Eagles. But I think the thing that is the berserker in this,
even on this one I've just checked, Mike McCarthy's plus 1,500.
Yeah, what? It's because it's Jerry,
and also he could have got rid of him last season.
I think
get rid of him for free this season. You don't have to pay him to get rid of him.
Yeah, doesn't have to. Yeah, doesn't he? Just has to.
Please.
You just have to tell Mike thanks.
So,
don't turn up on Monday.
So look at bookies.com. They've got Stefanski a lot higher.
What do you guys think of Mike McDaniel going?
No chance.
Well,
whether the seat should be hot is a different question.
I think next year the seat's hot.
The seat is hot, but he's got a lot of.
He's well managed PR wise.
Well managed PR wise. That's it. Stefanski, no, should stay. Whether Stefanski wants to stay is another question because
that might be an interesting angle.
Because whether he has the sort of
maybe just
patience to
tired of it all.
Yeah, especially as well if they're saying actually we want to take the best defensive player in the draft. You're like, I'm number 3. When I want to try Shadur, for instance, and they'll go, but we're paying Deshaun,
I've heard rumours that Kirk Cousins could be going there.
Yeah,
I agree with that take. Actually, Stefanski must be. I'm never going to win with Jimmy Haslam putting the strings here, which is realistically what's happening.
Yeah, it's odd. And I don't like. I think we always overestimate how many coaches are going to be fired.
I think it's 8.
But I will go on the over.
8 roles available. 3 have gone already.
As we're talking betting, £1.
I'll take that.
Yep. Accord. I owe you 5 anyway.
Let's take it off the bill.
Yeah. For the Chargers, they won 2 out of 4 rather than 3 out of 4.
I might owe me money for the Dolphins not getting in.
Yeah. So.
Oh God, yeah.
Let's. Any nominations for the sweetest player of the week?
Next to Mims.
Oh, that was a good pass.
Yeah.
There was a lovely hook and ladder in the Lions game against the 49ers.
Yeah, Jameson Williams is
insanely good.
He's the better.
I love. So he's my new John Ross, but he's good.
No, he's better than that.
He's so good. Like the start of this season, I've taken Williams every year in fantasy since he's only been in 2 years, Jesus. But I stashed him the first year. This year, I was like, fucking hell. Was it last year? It's been 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah. 3 years. So last year, of course, he started the season suspended for betting. So I stashed him, thinking it's okay. He's going to come back. And then even this year, he got a ban for taking fucking Viagra, and you're like, mate, you are not making this easy to be a JMO
The irony is he's making it hard.
Making it really hard.
Yeah. And but no, he's so you
can't even say so up and down. He's just up now.
He's just up, yeah. But who's that guy that played for the Seahawks? Percy Harvin. But quicker somehow.
Yeah. I agree. I think he's an amazing talent.
Yeah.
If he can stay on the field and they can find things for him to do that don't involve him getting banned.
Yeah.
But
brilliant.
He could be a Super Bowl winning player.
Yeah. Percy Harvin won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing, wasn't he? So yeah,
But to be fair, the Seahawks won that Super Bowl from the first snap.
Yes.
T. Higgins' catch.
T. Higgins' catch was lovely,
The last touchdown was incredible.
Yeah. Because we don't often get a chance to be nominated, I was going, the Giants. The kick return was lovely, but admittedly, he faced 3 tackle attempts in that and just ran. And Neighbours, his touchdown catches were lovely, but once again, it was because of bad defence. So I'm going to go with Paul here. The Knicks to Mims was absolutely, it was just exciting, even though it means going against my JMO.
And your beloved Giants.
Yes. Any sourest plays of the week? Or chodes?
Anything. But Rodgers, unnecessary roughness.
Yes.
No need for a quarterback to be doing that.
No, it's just
a fucking arsehole.
Because you're a fucking arsehole. Since do you remember the video when he brought in Devontae Adams? Adams appeared, yeah. It was so weak, and they've gone 2 wins since then. And yes,
when you say sourest player of the week, for me that I could argue that's sweetest. I know we've just agreed it and everything else, but that was sweetest because for me that was the moment he showed he was rattled.
Yeah,
and I love it.
Yeah, well, let's give that to the chode of the week.
Chode of the week.
Brilliant. Yeah, the opposite of the biggest balls. It's just an old man being angry. I just some of the Sean Payton stuff in overtime. I thought that was not great. While we're here, we need to congratulate Jim. He won a fantasy league.
Yeah, auction
league.
Congratulations, John. You won the Dynasty League.
I won the Dynasty League.
Dynasty League, well done.
And I lost in the final of regular.
Paul lost in the final of our regular league, even though he got 160 points, so it's really tough.
And I'd like to send out my Chode of the Week nomination to Jerome Ford
Yes.
for getting me 2.4 points and getting injured.
Yeah, that's
It's hard to take.
yeah.
But well done, Gary.
Is that your third final?
I am the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
Fantasy.
It's twice in a row for Gary in that league.
Yeah, we need to change the.
Yeah, these things need
I
to
do
change.
like that we were calling him the fantasy genius until he started winning
Really?
fantasy.
I'm gonna stop calling him that. And he's had a good run.
Should bring back the fantasy genius moniker, like, just to
No.
jinx him. Yeah, but yeah. So hopefully your fantasy leagues are over, because if you're not and you're relying on, fucking Saquon Barkley this week, change your fucking league.
Wow. Could you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, I still
That'd be a
think
heck of a waiver wire.
oh, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Everyone was fighting over Tanner McKee. Yeah. But yeah, no. I still think it gets harder finishing last week, because still there's like, for instance, it's so easier for the Bills to vest Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Because I imagine if you've won, you've probably got someone like Josh Allen.
Gary.
Yeah, I traded him away in auction league, and I regret that.
Wow.
Josh Allen wasn't the reason he won.
No,
T. Higgins was the reason.
T. Higgins was the reason he won,
This is the reason I won my auction league as well.
and
Fuck you both.
Yeah, sorry.
I was just fucking awesome in Dynasty. I didn't need T. Higgins. The whole of my team just got me to 170.
But to be fair, you beat Chase, which is all we wanted.
ABC, anyone but Chase.
Yeah. My dynasty team was a lot like the Dolphins. Looked amazing on paper.
Yeah.
As soon as you start playing games, they're shit. Absolute shit the bed.
We'll have to do a bit more fantasy starting next season, because I think we don't really this is how we fucking started getting into this, and we sort of forget it by like week one. So yeah, I mean, if you won your league, congratulations. If you didn't, try harder. Other than that,
Thanks.
no, try harder. We need to get you over this final jinx you seem to have. You've got you had the best team in regular, like the regular season, wasn't it? Were you number one?
I was number one rated the entire season, yeah.
Yeah. It's bizarre how often the number one person especially in our regular league, never wins. It's the person who was the best on the waiver wire is generally the person, and Gary was particularly good at the waiver wire this year because,
more time in his hands.
more time in his hands. Yeah, get a proper job, you fucking loser.
Doesn't fucking work.
Yeah, some of us are busy doing like saving the fucking planet, and saving the world.
Not us, but
Not us, but
others.
You like spreadsheets. Forget about it.
Yeah. But anyway, enjoy final weekend of the regular season, last red zone before it's taken away from us.
Oh, one thing we do have.
Scott Hatton's put back into cold storage.
Them sneaking in adverts. Not a fan.
Nah.
There's been a lot of uproar about that.
Yeah,
Not a fan.
not a fan of this.
Fucking advertising.
But yeah, we'll hopefully we'll be back with a full team next week, and we can get in the Hall of Good again.
Because the Hall of Good that we're looking at is the Hall of Good plays.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I've got an absolute fucking doozy. Oh man, I've got props.
Just thinking the judging. Who's judging it anyway?
I don't know actually.
I would like to judge.
Go on then.
Paul will judge.
There we go.
So we'll do plays.
And I will not be bought by people going to something I'd like. So
That rules out the helmet catch then.
exactly.
Can I just buy you some chocolate or something like to curry favour?
Post Christmas, I'm in a house full of it.
It's literally in front of him.
I've got 2 boxes of chocolate
I know,
sat in front of me right now.
I know, but you don't drink. It's really hard to. It's really hard to like bribe you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't bet, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm no fun.
yeah. Do you want me to beat someone up for you? On that note, we'll leave it there. But enjoy the final week, and we'll be back next week to talk the Super wildcard weekend.
Wicked wild card.